They say grief is love turned inward. It's the expression of love that you can't give to them because they're not here, but you still feel so much. So it goes kind of internally and it has nowhere to go. And what do you think that you have learned from your parents that you now parent your kids with?
My rule is don't be a dick. I was pissed off at the company, especially the fact that I was open and going, hey, I got no dramas that you've got a network. They were feeding us bullshit too.
Well, that's
like
it.
Lauren was out of contract and they were like, nah, it's all going to happen. We're going to re-sign you for 3 years, all that stuff.
You're joking.
Oh, mate, he's not there anymore. But if I saw that boss on the street now.
Which one was it?
His name. Here you go, shout out. We'd lost a couple of kids trying to have Felix. And it just consumes your life. Anyone who's gone through that knows it.
And then your second
Huddy.
son. And how was the IVF journey?
Because you got to be able to laugh. There's a light side to
course.
IVF as well. And I remember my wife was like, okay, if you don't want to go in there, because last time you went in, there were fans of the show and it was awkward for you. It's like, hey, Jase, big fan. Love the show. Thanks very much. I'm like, oh, thank you. I can't shake your hand because I'm holding the party bag, but lovely to meet you.
Jase, you became the #1 breakfast show in Melbourne.
But we'd come from a place where they told us we weren't good enough. We would be in meetings where they'd be like, you're not funny.
Really?
It needs to work or we'll get rid of all of you.
But you were doing so well at ARN. Why would they say that? You found a man bleeding in the gutter near your house. What was that?
It's fucking terrifying.
Jase, welcome to A Life of Greatness.
Thank you for having me.
I was just saying, I didn't even know what your last name was. I had to look it up when I started doing research on you because you're just Jase.
Like Madonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have a nickname, Lab Rat or Labby, back in the Hot 30 days. And I pretty much had to move to New Zealand for 3 years to shake the nickname in radio.
Really?
Yeah, because you know what nicknames are like? They just stick.
Yes.
Like they're great if you're just starting out and like I was the stunt guy and Kyle always said, you know, let's use nicknames, they stick. And they do. But when you're trying to get rid of them and then you actually graduate to hosting a breakfast show, it's sort of like, I don't think anyone wants to hear a D&M story or a guy opening up and then he's under the banner of Lab Rat.
Yes, that's true. What I love about you is you are a true radio guy. And I've worked in radio.
Radio Nuffy is the term we call it.
Yes, and I worked in radio for 15 years, so I know a lot about it. But I love the people who love radio. What made you love radio so much? Did you grow up wanting to be in radio?
That's all I ever wanted to do. Like,
really?
I, clear as day, remember growing up listening to Jamie Dunn, who does aggro, who recently just passed.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he hosted the B105 breakfast show. It was the B105 morning crew in Brisbane. And I would listen religiously every morning before school, Battle of the Sexes, 8:10. If the Black Thunders were in the area, I'd beg Dad to drive me down to them.
Really?
Or as a chubby little ranger, I'd jump on my bike and ride there. And you get a can of Coke. And for some reason, it just tasted better because it was free out of the back of a Black Thunder. And that's all I ever wanted to do.
Wow.
I'd commentate the bike races down the street. I'd buy I saved up and bought a $13 cordless mic from Toys R Us and would commentate all the bike races in the street. But I was so shy at school.
Really?
I was a really shy kid growing up.
And so how did you, what was the path to then being on radio if you were so shy?
I think when I finished in year 12, I sent letters out to every radio station in Queensland saying, can I work for free? And eventually Triple M Brisbane replied and said, look, you can come in and answer the phones for 2 weeks. And I did that. And then they said, look, you can just keep coming in if you want. So I did. And I think just being around that environment and earning my stripes, I think I started to gain a bit more confidence. And then that eventually brought me out of my shell. But I did that for about, 10, 11 months for free.
And then how did you go from answering the phones for free to actually being on radio? Were you doing were you part of the street team or anything like that?
No, I literally answered the phones. Kyle Sandilands took over the night show. I've said openly before, there was one night I stuffed something up. He threw a CD across the room and was like, what the fuck are we paying you for? And I'm like, you don't pay me. I'm a volunteer. And everyone in the building thought I was paid because I treated it like a job.
Wow.
I was there on time. I was, bought ideas. And then so Kyle and a few of the other people were like, well, let's let all my bonus money pay to the young kid. And the boss, Jim Johnson, was like, all right, no, we'll pay him. And they eventually started paying me. And then Kyle moved to Sydney to work with Jackie O on the Hot 30. And I moved with him and lived with him and started doing stunts on the Hot 30. And that's pretty much how I got on air.
So...
Actually, my first weekend when I got to Sydney, because obviously you always say you're more qualified than you are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I've been on air for ages. It's fine. And they said, okay, you're going to do weekend traffic. Now, I'm like 19. I've never been to Sydney in my life. And I'm now doing weekend traffic. And I said there was a breakdown on the Story Bridge, which is in Brisbane. And I said, we'll catch up with the Rock Patrols next, which is on Triple M. And I was on Today FM.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, just cooked it.
Yeah. But obviously still they kept you on.
Yeah.
But you were living with another, like Kyle Sandilands loves radio too, right?
And that's why we got along.
Yeah.
We're just two radio nuffies.
And so how was living with him?
Yeah, fine. He never left the house. He would just like watch Law and Order and drink 2 litres of Coke.
Didn't he used to, because I've heard him talk a lot about his upbringing and his story. Didn't he used to just like smoke grass in the house like most days and stuff?
Yeah. That's pretty much
I've heard him say that.
That was my introduction to that world. I was like, just watching Law and Order. Mum and Dad would ring, how's Sydney? It's excellent. It's lovely down here. But yeah, we just bonded over radio. We both loved it. And he was dating one of the promotions directors at the time, so we would always just have a company car. There was always a Black Thunder in the driveway.
That's so funny.
If we moved house, we'd get all the Black Thunders and no moving trucks. It'd be a fleet of Black Thunders and we'd load them up and move all with the furniture. We were full radio nuffies.
Yeah. And like, did seeing him, because he is very good at his craft, what do you think you learnt from him?
Just little things like, like I was saying before, nicknames, making characters out of our whole team. A lot of radio shows do it now anyway, to be honest. But, he was the one who introduced me to, if you have a quiet week when maybe there's not something much, maybe something isn't going on in my life and you've got something big going on in your life. It's like, hey, producer Sarah, come in, let's talk about it. It's like lean on those characters to fill the gaps when your life is quiet. The other thing I would give him credit for is he taught me to make the team a little family. Like I remember every Friday night, we would all go to his house. Everyone that worked on the show, if you're a production guy, answering the phones, a stunt person, whoever you were invited, your partners were invited, and we'd all go to his place. Jackie'd run murder mystery games.
Really?
We'd just order in pizzas. And the philosophy was you make everyone feel a part of it, they'll work harder for you.
Yeah. Then
that way, if someone stuffs up, it's not like they're just stuffing up at work. They're stuffing up on a show that make them feel like a shareholder.
Yeah.
And then, if you include partners, then all of a sudden it's like when you're doing long days or you've got to travel, the partners are aware of the team.
Yeah.
It's not like, you're going off on the piss with all those people.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first got over Melbourne, I was working with PJ girl from New Zealand. Mm-hmm. And when they offered us the job, we would only take it if we could bring our entire team out from New Zealand, even like the promotions people. We brought our entire team and we all left and the only thing I asked the company was, can you fly us all on the same flight? So that morning, I'm at the airport with my 2 kids and my wife. Anybody that was moving over, all their family were at the airport.
Wow.
So it was like we all traveled together.
Yeah.
And then it's just everyone's invested in the show. And it's not all of a sudden just 2 hosts and this team working to make them look good.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible.
And it's fun.
Yeah. And tell me, so you went to New Zealand for a period of time and then you came back.
Yeah, we did 3 years over there.
Yeah.
Loved it. I was sort of falling out of love of radio.
Yeah.
I think I was just in a bit of I think I was just in a bit of a slump in Brisbane. Wasn't really agreeing with the vision of where the show and the station was going, and management had changed a lot. And, you'd have a different boss come in every 2 years and be like, here's the idea, we're going to do this. And it was just
changed.
Exactly.
When I was in radio, it was a different content director every year.
Exactly right. And I got along with my co-host great, but it wasn't that family vibe. And so an opportunity came up to go to New Zealand. And I thought, you know what, screw it. So we went. We only had a 1-year-old at the time. Yeah. And it just sort of went, but New Zealand was a bit more grassroots.
Where in New Zealand?
We're based in Auckland, but it was national. And I remember getting there. And here in Australia, there's a lot of radio codes and everything, as you know, that you got to sit through every year. And we get to New Zealand, and it's like the first day we're about to go on air, and it's like 10 minutes till we're on. And I'm like, no one's running me through the radio codes. And they're like, oh, bro, hang on, I'll get it for you. And he pulls out, like when you stay at the hotel on the Gold Coast and you see all the pamphlets for like Movie World and stuff like that. Yeah. It was like a pamphlet like that.
Really?
And he gives it to me and I open it up and it says, drugs, no. Booze, no. And it was like pictures. And I'm like, what's this? And they go, just get across that, bro. Here we go. Going live. And then we're on. And I'm like, what about delay? And everyone in the room laughed at me. Oh, delay. No delay. No rules.
So for anyone listening, when you work in radio, and this is thanks to a lot of like Kyle Sandilands and some of the stuff that he did, which wasn't kosher, that we have to every single year, doesn't matter how long you've been in radio for, you have these online videos that you have to watch. It takes hours.
Yeah.
And you have to do multiple choice questions. If you don't answer them correctly, you have to redo it. And it's extremely painful.
Yeah. Then listen to examples from past years where people have broken those rules.
Yeah.
And you hope to God they're not going to play audio of you.
And it's really also like you forget about it and then it comes up the next year and you're like, oh God.
Shit, here we go again. Yes.
They did do something, though, where you can play the videos and not really watch them.
No, they're onto that. You can't open them on different windows.
Thank God I moved out of radio.
So I've been told. But yeah, in New Zealand, there was none of that. And it was just a bit more grassroots. They didn't have the manpower that we have in Australia. They didn't have the money. So it really just took me back to my early days. And I just fell in love with it again.
And then what brought you back? A good opportunity?
Yeah, Kiss at the time. Kiss reached out in Melbourne and offered us an opportunity. And we were really happy in New Zealand. And we just had our second baby. And we were just like, look, it's probably time to go home.
Yeah.
But New Zealand were incredible. They would just do little things like, if you're going home for 2 days, we know what it's like to travel with kids. So just do the show from there for a week.
Really?
Now, by doing that, I wouldn't do the show from there for a week because I knew it affects the show.
Yes.
I'd be like, great, thanks. You know what? We might do 3 days. But just to know that the company's like, hey, don't go feel shit about it. If you need more time, do the show from Brisbane.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You give people a bit more respect, they'll work harder for
100%.
you.
100%. You know who taught me that? When I worked with Hamish and Andy for 4 years, they were the best. I mean, they weren't my bosses, but they kind of were. You could ever have. And they were so respectful of our team. And it wasn't a big team. They were so generous. They would buy us lunch. They were beyond beautiful. And I came out of that thinking, I'm going to be like that to anyone that works for me. It just
and how much harder did you work for them?
Exactly.
And everyone fucks up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not fucking. Everyone stuffs up, but
yeah.
When you stuff, it's like if our production guy stuffs up, I know I'll walk in there and go, it's all good, mate.
Yeah.
No one's dead. Let's not do that one again.
Yeah.
If it was the same mistake every couple of days, I'd be like, guys, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But I know he's going to be so much harder on himself than me saying something.
Yeah. It's so true. And so you moved to Melbourne.
Yep.
And you're on KISS.
We're on KISS for a number of years.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And sort of the team just fell apart. A lot of them went back to New Zealand.
Yeah.
At the time, our video guy went home to Wollongong.
Yeah.
So he was editing the videos from his house in Wollongong.
Yeah.
The phone girl went home to her home, mum and dad's place in Adelaide. So if you rang the radio station in Melbourne, it was diverted to her bedroom in Adelaide.
Gosh.
And she's sitting there with the Backstreet Boys posters in the background on a headset. Hello, KISS Melbourne.
Oh, yeah.
And it was only PJ and I allowed in the studio.
Yeah.
And then she was missing home. Couldn't go back.
PJ's originally from New Zealand, yeah.
And I remember she just came to me and she's like, God, I'm missing home. And I said, look, you know what? We've had a great run. We had 3 years in Melbourne, 3 years in New Zealand. I'm like, I never want you to resent this show.
Yeah.
So go home, And it was around November. And I said to her, but look, if you go now, the team's Christmas is fucked because everyone will be having to look for a new co-host and rebrand the show. And can you give me till Feb?
Mm.
And I will drive her to the airport. I'm your biggest supporter. And she was great. She was like, yep, done.
And what happened to her?
She's gone back to New Zealand. She's had a couple of kids. She's doing radio back there now.
Yeah. And you still keep in touch with her?
Yeah, still keep in touch. She comes and visits and yeah.
Yeah. And so then you get recreated.
So then we looked around for a new co-host. I'd never met Lauren Phillips.
Yeah.
But I'd seen her work on the Today Show. And it was funny because it was leading into Christmas time.
Yeah.
I knew PJ was leaving, but we never told anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the bosses said, let's try Lauren for the fill-in show over Christmas. And I was like, oh, yeah. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, I'm going to listen to this because this is, I want to see how she sounds because I think she could be a great replacement with PJ. And I remember talking to one of the producers over Christmas just going, hey, throw some heavy topics in. Just want to see. And she was great. She lifted, she rose to the occasion, she nailed it. And then, eventually we started telling management PJ wants to leave. So we went and met with Lauren. Her and I had never met. It was sort of around COVID times. We met once at a hotel to do a demo, which we joke about because it sounds seedy as hell.
Yeah.
Come meet this bloke in a hotel room.
Why they make you do it in a hotel?
Because that's what seedy, weird radio bosses do, Sarah. They make it more awkward. Let's not do it at a home or somewhere normal.
Studio. I mean, I remember when I was.
But they didn't want anybody. They didn't want anybody to know or do.
Yeah.
We went under the cover of darkness one night at like 11 o'clock. But the first, like when we started the show, it was peak COVID, and my dad had just passed away. He passed away on the last show of PJ and I.
He passed away during COVID.
Yeah. I had to watch his funeral from here because I couldn't get there. And it was the day PJ left. And then poor Lauren is starting. Wow. So she's come into this new environment, this co-host who's a mess, who's full of grief. And because it was COVID, her and I couldn't even go for a coffee outside the studio. We didn't know each other. The only time we could spend with each other were the 3 hours in the studio doing the show.
Jesus.
It was a real baptism of fire.
And
we just connected.
Yeah. That's beautiful though.
Yeah, it was great. It was amazing. I always say, and Clint's the same, who's on the show now, I think it comes down to our upbringing. We've all got a very similar upbringing.
What's that?
Just similar parents, very close families. You know, I'll talk to Lauren's dad, Bobby, without her even knowing. She might say something. I'll go, yeah, no, I spoke to your dad the other day.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you mean? And same with Clint's parents. My parents are passed now, but their parents totally remind me of
Really?
mine. Yeah.
Your parents passed in quite close succession to one another.
Yep. Dad passed. Mum's health was always terrible.
How old was your mum when she passed?
She was 80s, early 80s.
Yeah.
Terrible health, was a smoker when she was younger. But we thought Mum would go first, but then Dad got bowel cancer and got cleared for it. And when they were doing the check, just to make sure he was clear, his lungs lit up. And it turned out he had asbestos poisoning because he was a sparky back in the day. And so, Dad passed and then Mum passed about a year and a bit after that.
So they both were sick at the same time?
Dad's was very quick.
Okay.
Yeah, Mum's was always her older part of her life.
And so did you say your dad was in New Zealand?
No, Brisbane.
Your dad was in. Yeah. So your dad's in Brisbane and your mum is also, I'm assuming, in Brisbane. Your dad dies during COVID. Did your mum die during COVID?
No, I could go to her funeral.
So, I mean, don't you reflect and you think, are you joking that I couldn't even travel during that time? It's your father.
There were times on the air, because I know we had Dan Andrews on the air and ScoMo and all that.
How did you deal with that?
And I look back and I remember there was an interview I think I did with Dan or ScoMo. I can't even remember now.
Yeah.
And it was such an out-of-body experience because it was, for anybody in the entertainment industry, when the mics or cameras are on, there's always that little bit of persona.
Yeah.
You're performing. And I remember just this one moment where all that was gone and I was so real and in the moment and just didn't care that I was on the air and I ripped them a new one.
What did you say?
What did you say
to Dan
I was
Andrews?
really shitty because they were allowing the tennis players in.
Yeah.
The AO was still going to go ahead and they could justify international tennis players coming in, but I couldn't fly to Brisbane and go to my dad's funeral. And I just...
And what... Did you say that to Dan Andrews?
I think we'd had him on a week earlier and then a week later I ripped in and they wouldn't come back on after that. But I was just like, how do you fucking live with yourself with those decisions? Like, I get you've got to do lockdowns and all that, but don't be letting fucking tennis players in, mate, just for the AO to go ahead.
But also, I was talking with Luke Darcy and Luke ripped into him too. And then he never came back to his show. But then Dan Andrews stopped doing interviews altogether.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't do anyone because he knew that people would attack him. How did you navigate that time when your dad had passed?
I think I still am.
Mm.
I think, grief, someone said the other day, just, comes and goes. You have good times and bad. I was driving here today going, oh, no, Sarah's going to bring up mum and dad. There'll be a few tears. And which is fine because I sit there and go, you know what? It means they obviously meant so much to me.
Yeah. They say grief is love turned inward. It's the expression of love that you can't give to them because they're not here, but you still feel so much. So it goes kind of internally and it has nowhere to go.
I know, and it comes out of nowhere too, which is so funny.
Yeah.
You'd be triggered by just something.
What was it about your childhood with them that you love so much?
I think they were just really supportive. Like I was shit house at school.
Yeah.
I wasn't like a little turd or anything like that. I've got 3 older sisters, so I was the 4th, and they worked really hard, like multiple jobs. And when you're the 4th kid, you just survive.
Yeah.
But like as I mentioned, when I started at Triple M, answering phones for free, like that was a night time. At 10 p.m. at night when I finished, mum or dad would be out the front and pick me up every single night.
Oh.
And I was working for free. So it wasn't even like they were picking me up from a well-paying job. And they would have done, a 15-hour workday, but they were there to pick me up, And then when I started getting into radio, mum would ring all the time, but I've got the ratings, like they were so invested.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, how lucky are you that you got to have 2 parents like that?
Oh, I'm the same. Yeah, 100%. And they were just, my 3 kids at the moment, I'm in this stage where, I've probably spoiled them too much and stuff. And I'm just at this stage at the moment where I'm really into them at the moment about appreciating what they've got.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like. You get sent so much free shit to work.
Yeah.
And I'm very mindful of what I take home for them because I don't just want them thinking they get tickets to everything and stuff like that. But yeah, like mum and dad worked so hard for whatever we had. So I'm just very conscious of trying to teach that to my boys at the moment.
And were your sisters close with them?
Yeah, they were. Like my sisters were, some were close, then one would go away, and then Michelle, the oldest one, would go for a party years and everything. But then since mum and dad had passed, we're like so tight, which is really nice. I had, it was the last year, the year before, I had my 3 sisters, and 2 of them have got families, but all 3 of them came down and stayed for 3 nights without partners or their kids. So it was just my 3 sisters staying with us. And I remember taking them out to a bar and stuff. We're out one night. And then they're like, we should go out. I'm like, I think Lauren's brother's having his birthday. So I text Loz and she's like, bring him to Chapel Street. So all of a sudden we're at an electric nightclub.
Oh, God.
I'm walking my 50-year-old sister up these stairs. I'm like, what am I doing?
Electric Ladyland.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, my God. How fun.
And Lauren's handing this bloody 2-litre bottle of vodka, and there's my 50-year-old sister waving around. I'm like, what is going on? But it was so fun to have that night.
How nice is that?
Yeah, it was really cool.
And what do you think that you have learned from your parents that you now parent your kids with?
My rule is don't be a dick. It's what I say to my boys. Just be nice. It'll come back in spades. There's if someone annoys you, I get it. Just don't be an arsehole.
Yeah.
And my 10-year-old's always like, Dad, everyone. Like, we'll pull up at the coffee shop. G'day, George. Paddy, the garbage truck driver, is going past and running to get his coffee. I'm like, g'day, Paddy. And my 10-year-old's like, how do you know everyone? I'm like, well, that's what my dad used to do. My dad used to be a delivery driver. And he would just know everyone. And I think that's what I was trying to teach my boys. I don't care if you're making the coffee, if you own the coffee company, whatever it is. Just everyone's the same. We're all human.
That's so beautiful. And tell me, how do you go with the mornings? Because I did that for a year and I had the worst burnout ever, and, then went through my personal development journey because it broke me. You've done it for so many years, but there is a jet lag kind of feeling that runs with you.
But see, I look at people who do 9 to 5 and I go, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I get to pick my boys up from school.
Yes.
Every day.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that I can do that.
But are you able to fall asleep when you, do you sleep during the day?
If you said we need to fix the cameras for 3 minutes, I could fall asleep right now for a minute and a half.
That's amazing. My dad's got that gift too.
Yeah. My wife can't.
I can't
She hates it about me, but I could happily just fall asleep.
Yeah. So do you nap in the day?
Yeah, but only as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
And we've got a 4-year. We went back in.
Yes.
We were out. We went back in. We had a 3rd during COVID.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have 3 boys?
Yeah, 3 boys. I said to my wife, I'm like, are you sure? We're out, babe. The second one's about to go to school. I can smell fucking freedom. It's on the other side.
Yeah.
And then she kept talking to me and she goes, look, why don't you go see a therapist and talk through it?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, really? She goes, it's not your thing. You've never done it. And if you really don't want to have a 3rd, I'll stop pushing for it.
Yeah.
So she books me an appointment for this blokes therapy joint. Now, I've grown up with 3 older sisters. I'm as metro as you get. If we go to a barbecue, you're not going to see me around the barbecue going, oh, yeah, those bloody Broncos. It's just not me. Yeah. So I'm driving to this macho therapist joint.
Why did she book you into a macho therapist?
It was all blokes therapy. Okay. I think she was just trying to talk me into it.
Okay, nice, yeah.
And I'm driving there and I rang my friends and I'm like, this feels weird, man. I'm just going to talk to this stranger. And everyone's like, lean in.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So get there. Lovely guy. nice guy. We hit it off. We're chatting. And like I could have been doing some bad shit. And thank God I wasn't. And I'm telling him all about my life and stuff. And he's like, do you party, you know, and like you're loyal to your wife? And I'm like, yeah. Now, I could have been doing God only knows what, right? Halfway through, he goes, that's how I know you. My daughter's best friends with your son at school. She's coming around for a play date in 2 days.
Oh, my God.
I fucking died. I could feel the blood just drain from me. And he's like, do you feel comfortable continuing? Me? Of course, yeah, let's go. No worries. And I reckon for the next half an hour, I didn't say anything. I just sat there going back through my head at what I said.
What did I say? Clocking.
Yep.
Shit.
And then I walked outside and rang Lou and went, let's have the third. I'm never going back.
That is hilarious. And do you see him now?
As in, like, they've moved schools, but I did see him like 2 days later. And his daughter's at our place.
Oh, my God. How funny is
that?
that?
I know. Imagine if I was like, I'm a bit of a junkie. I've got a real bad problem. It's like, oh, you're not coming around for the play date anymore?
That's hilarious. So you're fine with the mornings then?
Yeah, I'm just sort of. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like when I got
what time do you wake up?
Alarm goes off 4:15. That says snooze, you deserve it. And then I've got 4:30, 4:31.
And does your wife wake up when the?
No, I'm pretty good. I'll use a torch and like quietly. But we got 3 kids. Like some mornings I wake up and I'm in a different part of the house in a different bed because like. One of the kids has gotten up and it's bed hopping and I'm putting him back to sleep. And
how old are they now, your kids?
12, 10 and 4.
Wow. So there's still a 4-year-old.
Yeah. Because
12 and 10, I've got an 11 and a 13.
Yeah.
And it's pretty.
They're getting there. The 10s, you know, but the 4-year-old, we call him the liability. And he just marches to his own beat.
Oh, my God.
And also we're older now. Like I said to Lou, I'm like, what?
How old are you?
How old do you think? No, I'm 44.
Yeah.
43 for the work group. And I'm like, why am I so tired now? And Lou's like, because we had Felix 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah, good call.
Things change.
Oh, mate, 4-year-old. Imagine having another one now.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. Your eldest is Felix.
Yeah.
And when he was born at age 2, he was diagnosed with autism.
Yeah, so he's autism and ADHD.
Yeah. How did they diagnose him? Did you have a feeling something was not right?
My wife did.
How did she?
She's very good with that. And yeah, I don't know. I'm a big believer in knowledge is power. And I think when you know how to help and deal with different situations, then you sort of avoid putting yourself in bad situations. You know, like you'll get overstimulated. So, you know, say if we're having a barbecue and stuff and after a couple of hours, I'm like, hey, why don't you and I peel off? We'll do a game of chess in the other room.
Yeah.
You know, he knows he'll get overstimulated. At the moment, he goes to a school where he can walk home and that means he's not on the bus at the end of the day. So it's just not that extra overstimulation. It works great for him. And
on the, like, because there's all different levels of autism. Is it severe autism or?
No, like low, mid-range.
Yes,
you know. Yeah. But it's very based around being overstimulated. That's what can throw in.
Yeah. And it's so interesting in the world that we're in at the moment. There is so much stimulation too. And I wouldn't think twice about it unless I'm overstimulated, which doesn't happen often. But it's something that you would constantly, I'm assuming, think about if you're taking him into certain environments.
Yeah. You know what? I'm so used to it now. I sort of don't overthink it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with it.
Yeah.
You know, and because he's aware of it as well, you know, you can you just be honest with each other and go, hey, mate, it's pretty loud in there. Like, how about we just go for 10 minutes?
Yes.
We'll leave early from the show.
Yeah.
You know.
And he's fine with that.
Yeah.
And then your second son.
Huddy. Yeah.
That was through IVF.
Yes. Yeah. He was through IVF. He's the money man. He's just addicted to cash. He taught me how to do shares.
Really?
Yeah. He likes watching Shark Tank.
The 10-year-old.
Yep. Yep. There's like a kid's share app.
Yeah.
So for his birthday, he wanted like Apple shares, not like just. He'll come into work and, you know, him and Lauren are a bad combination because they get along so well.
Oh, bless.
Yeah. She'd be like, what are you into, Huddy? And he's like, oh, Prada and Louis Vuitton. She's like, let's get you a Louis Vuitton keyring. And I'm like, no, he's 10. Do not buy him a Louis Vuitton keyring.
Wow.
And then we'll talk about it on the air. And then some listener sent him a Louis Vuitton keyring.
Oh,
and
my
I'm like,
God, a listener.
I'm like, Hudson, you are not putting that on your school bag and walking to work. Like we might as well say Hawkins family, wankers.
Yeah.
No.
And why did you decide to go through IVF, or was it just?
I think we'd lost a couple of kids trying to have Felix.
Yeah.
When we went, I think we'd lost about 5.
Oh, really?
It was just after we got pregnant. just after we got married.
Yeah.
Got pregnant and lost, about 5 kids. And it just consumes your life. Anyone who's gone through that knows it. And I remember I was just over it. I was like, God, we're newlyweds and all we're talking about is this, trying to have a baby. And it was consuming our life. And we ended up just going, you know what, we're going to book a month in Thailand. And we booked a month, and the rule was we weren't going to talk about it. We weren't going to, overthink it or anything like that. And we went there and just had a beautiful month away reconnecting, and ended up falling pregnant with Felix. And had him. And then, just because of the complications, we did IVF.
Yeah. And how was the IVF journey?
It worked fine for us. Yeah. For Huddy.
Yeah, great.
Apart from, just the awkwardness of having to rock up with samples now and then and stuff like that, which was, because you got to be able to laugh. There's a light side to IVF as well. And I remember my wife was like, okay, if you don't want to go in there, because last time you went in, there were fans of the show and it was awkward for you. She goes, you can drop the deposit off. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she goes, hey, listen, I've got to go out. I think I was on the way home from work. She goes, but I've left like a bag for you to put it in on the kitchen bench. And I'm like, okay. And I walk out, and we'd recently had a birthday party for Felix. So there was a party bag left on the kitchen bench.
Yeah.
So I get the sample, I put in the party bag. I got told I got 12 minutes to get there. So I'm racing there like an ambulance with this party bag between my legs to keep it warm. Yeah. Couldn't get a park outside the IVF place, so I'm a couple of streets down. So here I am running up the main road with this party bag, and I burst into the reception area. I'm covered in sweat. I'm holding the party bag. And I'm like, oh, I've got to give you this, And then I just get this guy come up behind me and say, hey, Jase, big fan. Love the show. Thanks very much. I'm like, oh, thank you. I can't shake your hand because I'm holding the party bag, but lovely to meet you.
That's hilarious.
It was the most awkward experience of my life.
It must be like being a public figure in Melbourne, especially because radio shows are so centric to the state. Obviously some,
No, I agree.
Go nationally, but it's like everyone knows the people that are on the radio shows. I mean, there must be situations where you're like, oh, God, I can't do this in private,
No, I think you get noticed. It comes and goes. Like sometimes when there's big marketing campaigns, people might notice you more off the back. Or if you guys have just done something big on the air, when all the shit was going down of us getting fired, moving to Nova and all, like, everyone knew us then. But then it dies off a bit. Okay.
No,
I've got a big thing with if someone comes up and says hello.
Yeah.
I always say to my team, they're your bosses. Our bosses aren't the people wearing suits at Nova. Our bosses are Kerry and Pakenham, or, the people that come up and say hello at the supermarket and stuff. Because that was me.
Yeah.
I was the little ranger in Brisbane coming up and saying hello. If someone was rude to me, that's it.
Yeah.
I'd be gone. I remember,
and it's actually shattering when someone that you have looked up to is rude to you. My girlfriend had that with, I won't say who, a radio person. She was at the races and she saw them and she called their name and waved, and she said the girl just grazed her and looked away. And she was so dark after that.
The thing that upsets me, though, is if someone takes it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Or, say if she called out and that person just didn't hear.
Yeah. She said they heard.
Yeah, I'm not defending them.
Yeah.
But, that's the only thing.
Yeah. But that's a beautiful way to be in life, like you said anyway, with the kids and always being kind and nice.
Yeah, I just think if someone's got the balls to come up and say hello.
Yeah.
And if
that is a big thing. Like, I think I'd see them and I wouldn't say anything.
There's no way.
I'd just be like, oh, there's that guy from the radio,
There's my wife last week, because we got the McKinnon Hotel down the road from our place, right?
Yeah.
And, I'm happy just if I get the kids down to Saturday night and my wife was watching Dance Mums or something I'm not into, and I just want to return calls to some mates, I'll wander down the McKinnon for an hour just to watch the footy, have a beer, ring some mates. And every week I'll come home and Lou will be like, who'd you meet? Because I'll go down there and someone will come up and say hello and be like, mate, you want a beer? Come and join our table. So I'll join a table. I've joined a 34-member pickleball group. I've joined a dad's pool table group. Last Saturday, I was down there watching, and I met these 2 old blokes in their 60s and ended up joining their table. How beautiful is that? And it was just,
Yeah. You don't even
life.
need to meet friends.
No,
you can just walk down by yourself.
And she's like, babe, you got stop forcing yourself in their groups. I'm like, they said hello to me first.
Bless. That's such a lovely way to be.
Yeah, well, it's just, we're all human.
Yeah. You mentioned just before that your show got axed.
Yep.
And the the lead up to that was strange. in the sense that the show was doing so well, right? Kind of getting like this kind of thing happened on. I just remembered Jo Stanley when she was also actually on Gold.
Yeah. On Gold, they went
with
number
Limo.
one, gave them the arse.
Yeah, I just thought of that then. The show's doing so well. Obviously, Kyle and Jack, we find out, are going to take over because they're going into Melbourne. They've been very successful in Sydney. Did you have a feeling that was going to happen? Because they'd been in the media talking about the fact they might have this show take over for a bit.
Before there was like a couple of rumours at the start of the year, and then they went away.
Yeah.
And then it was leading into a weekend of the ACRAs, which is the Radio Awards.
Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know what they are, it's
Been
the Logies without money.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was the Friday before we go into the ACRAs, and they said, Megan from PR is going to just come in and talk to you guys quickly. And we're like, okay. And we hadn't seen Megan once since we started there.
Yeah.
She was based in Sydney. And she came in, she goes, look, just if you get asked about any of the Kyle and Jack rumours on the red carpet, just brush them off and have a laugh about it. And we're like, well, what rumours? Like, well, that's weird. Yeah. And then that Sunday night, there was the story in the paper about them coming. And
you hadn't been told yet?
No, not at all. So then we started hitting up the station going, well, what's going on? Now, I want to be clear. I've got no dramas in us getting the arse for a network show. That's the way of the world. I've been doing this since I was 16. Like, I got no problems with that. My issue was give the team respect and just be honest with them.
Yeah.
You know, I've got producers that were paying, or signing new leases, buying cars.
Yeah.
You know, we have kids going into different schools. Like, just be honest and go, hey, guys, the end of the year, we're going to network a show.
Yeah.
Now, I can't speak on behalf of everyone, but I know they would do the same. I will still rock up and give 100% tomorrow till the end of that contract. And we did. Finally, when we finally found out, that team still rocked up for the next 3 weeks, did not miss a beat once.
How many weeks did you have left to go?
Till they officially told us?
Well, as in when you were told till the end?
When they officially told us, there was still 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
And they said, you can finish now. And we said, absolutely not. We're going to rock up and we're staying on the
Good on you.
Maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And none of our team missed a beat.
Yeah.
And I think that's what shat me the most. I was like, just have the respect. Everyone's adults here. You know, like, it was dragging on so long that we were like, look, if it's done at the end of the year, we need to work out what we're going to do. Let's go home to Brisbane. So we enrolled our kids in schools on the Gold Coast. We had meetings over Zoom, enrolled the kids on the Gold Coast because we didn't know where we were going to be in a month.
How did you feel at that time?
I was pissed off at the company.
And also, you've done so well for them. You know, you couldn't have done any better. No. It's shattering.
Especially
almost.
The fact that I was opening going, hey, I got no dramas that you've got a network. If I was a bitter, angry person, I get it. It's not worth the risk. You can't have me on air bagging them out and stuff like that. But just be respectful to people.
And
also they were leading, and they were feeding us bullshit too.
Well, that's
Lauren was out of contract and they were like, no, it's all going to happen. We're going to re-sign you for 3 years, all that stuff.
You're joking.
And I'm like, it's like back to the Dan Andrews thing. How you can do that and go home and have a good night's sleep that night? Like, oh, mate, he's not there anymore. But if I saw that boss on the street now.
Which one was it?
Duncan Campbell's his name.
Yeah.
There you go. Shout out.
But ARN is really not having its best time in the sun, right? So, and I hope it finds its feet. And I love Dave Cameron because he was the one that gave me my first ever producing role. And he was actually the person that gave me the role on Hamish and Andy after I worked in Breakfast Radio. He's awesome, and he's now kind of moved into head of content, I think.
So Dave was music director. When I first moved to Sydney with Kyle, Dave Cameron was music director, Brendan Taylor was promotions director, production manager. Yeah. And now Brendan runs Nova and Dave's running ARN.
It's so funny. It's such an ancestral kind of community.
But it's the nice guys I grew up with. Yeah. So I just feel like there's this patch at the moment where the nice guys are getting to do it.
Yeah, and I really hope that he's able to turn it around because they need someone like him. He's a great guy.
And as for Nova, it's like Brendan Taylor, who runs it, is just a bloody nice guy. He was always nice to me when I was 18 and 19 and moved to Sydney. And under him is Sarah McGilgrave, who used to be Colin Jack's old EP back in the day. And so, and my wife was their promotions director. So I feel like we've all gone to war together.
Yeah, yeah.
And now we're getting to do it our way. And it's just... It's just easy.
Is it different working? Because Nova is not a publicly listed company like Oz Stereo and ARN. So is that different? Like, is it a different feel?
Yeah, there's definitely a different feel, but I don't think it's because it's public or private.
Why do you think it's different culture?
Yeah.
What is so good about it? Because you love it there, don't you?
Love it. And it's I guess there's just no bullshit.
Yeah.
There's, like they run pretty lean and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like when I had my meeting with the CEO and CFO, like I don't have a manager, so I just do it myself.
Yeah.
And it was me, the CEO, the CFO in a room at Crown and
I was Crown?
Like, because they flew down, so we had to do it offsite.
Like,
they love a hotel room. They must get a deal. And I was like, well, should we have a beer? So we also cracked a beer and I said to him in the room, let's not bullshit each other. If this doesn't work out, doesn't work out.
Yeah.
I don't want to play games. If I sign this, it needs to be long-term for me because we're setting our family up here. I don't want to move my kids when they're in school.
Yeah.
I didn't lie on what I was on over at KISS,
Yeah.
Just it's funny if you just cut away all the bullshit, you can actually work through deals and agree on stuff pretty easily.
And after, is it 5 months, just shy of 5 months, you became the #1 breakfast show in...
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
In Melbourne.
Yeah, I had one rule with Brendan. I'm like, never ring during the show with results.
Yeah. And how did they tell you?
And I said as a joke, I'm like, you know what, you can ring the day we go #1.
Yeah.
Ha, ha, ha. Not thinking it'd ever happen.
Yeah.
And then it was like 8 o'clock and they're like, hey, Brendan's on the phone with the ratings. And I'm like, I'm not playing this game. Because my wife goes, and it's so true. Lou goes, look, and ratings are important. Don't get me wrong. You want to be #1 for the sales team, for the network. But Lou goes, you know what, in 10 years, you'll never remember what your numbers were. You'll remember what the team and the vibe was like.
Yeah.
And it's so true. So they came in, they're like, Brendan's on the phone. I'm like, mate, we said we weren't doing this game. And he's like, yeah, you're #1. And it was...
How did that feel?
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah. I mean...
I get emotional thinking about it now just because of all the work it went in.
But also like that...
But we come from a place where they told us we weren't good enough.
I was going to say, you were able to be successful and show them what you were made of, but you always did anyway.
Yeah, so we would be in meetings where they'd be like, you're not funny.
Really?
It needs to work or we'll get rid of all of you.
But you were doing so well at ARN. Why would they say that?
Just because it wasn't to the standard they needed or they didn't have the numbers where, that person needed it.
Yeah. And then...
It's honestly, it was like being on the set of The Office with David Brent.
But it's also really traumatizing. Like, as you and I know, we've had our traumatizing moments in radio, both of us. And that stuff sticks with you.
I've told the guys this. The thing that killed me when the show blew up on KISS was that was Clint and Lauren's impression of radio.
Yeah.
And they were like, this industry's cooked, mate. People are cooked. This is so nasty what you guys do to each other. And I'm like, guys, because I love this industry. This is all I've ever wanted to do. And I'm like, guys, this is not radio. And that's what killed me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is their impression of the world I love.
Yeah.
So that's why when we got picked up at Nova and it worked and we went #1 and the environment's amazing, I was like, this is what it's supposed to be like.
It's the environment.
100%.
The environment makes or breaks. And I know...
And numbers go up and down.
Yeah. Numbers go up and down. And the interesting thing, now that I haven't been in radio for a couple of years, no one thinks of the radio. No one looks at the survey except for the people in radio. No one cares about it. It's really only the radio people talking about what's going on in radio. And I know that that's how they make or break shows. I've been sitting on a lot of them,
What's more important is the messages you get off Instagram or people in the street going, mate, you know what? I was going through a really shit time.
Yeah.
My God, you guys got me through it. And it's like, wow, it's pretty powerful. Because I've had shit moments where me going and doing the show has got me through it,
What are some of the most memorable messages you've got from listeners?
Oh, we just recently did a thing where it was, say, hey, 50K. So we go out twice a week to different locations around Melbourne.
Yeah.
People are lining up for like 2 hours to come and get a photo, say hello, and go on the running to win money.
Yeah.
Probably 90% of them were there for the money. And that's okay. No offense. But there was this one girl that lined up when we were in Carnegie. I always say that wrong.
Carnegie.
There we go. They'll give me shit for that at work. And she got to the front of the line. She goes, I don't want to go in the running for the money. I don't even want a photo. I just want to say I've gone through a really, really shit time last couple of years. And you could see it in her face.
Yeah.
And she's like, listening to your show pulled me out of it. It was my one escape. And it meant the world to me to come down and tell you guys that. And I was like, wow. Like, didn't want the money or a photo or anything. Just, it was that important for her to come down and say that.
Wow.
It just made me realise, like, maybe we're not just playing Justin Bieber.
but you know, I think sometimes people think that they have to do a podcast like mine, which is very personal development, and we talk about heavy things and how to be your better self. But when I worked on Hamish and Andy and I saw a gazillion of those emails, because I was the one that was like, you know, looking through their emails, where it was, I've beaten cancer, I drive to my chemotherapy every single week and I listen to Hamish and Andy.
You're my escape, you're my laugh.
And I never had thought about it like that, that it was actually the comedy and just the fun lightness of it all that, as you said, is the escapism for some people who are going through dark times.
Go back to me being 15. You're in your teen years.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting pimples, you're getting bullied at school. I got the pressure of homework, all that. What was my escape? I'd listen to the B105 Morning Crew in the morning for that 10 minutes in the car. And it would give me a laugh. Yeah. Like it was the same thing.
Do you believe in, you know, it's used so fleetingly and not in a great way, manifestation these days, because in a sense you really like manifested your path because you loved it so much, right?
Yeah, I was listening to your episode with Eddie Maguire and I'm like, I don't manifest things. Then I was like, oh shit, I used to commentate the bike races down the street. Oh, God, I used to chase Black Thunder. Oh, God, I manifested my job.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah,
you lived and breathed radio and encompassed everything and loved it because, you know, the idea of manifestation and people, as I said, it's so TikTok and things now, but it's the idea that you love something so much and you want it for yourself. And you've done that always with like the best of intentions. Your intention has always been so pure. And, you know, to see you get so moved because a listener comes to you and tells you that you are their everything and their escapism from a hard, dark world, that's why you do it, right?
Oh, like watching someone laugh at an outside broadcast over something we're doing is priceless. Like watching someone get joy out of something we're doing, like that's you can't buy that.
That's life, really, though. I always think like that's why we're here, you know, to help each other. It's not so much about like what can I do for me, my family.
We proudly say our team's a dysfunctional family, and our listeners are part of that family.
Yeah,
it's none of us are perfect. We're all a bit cooked. But we actually like leaning into it on the show. Yeah. And, you know, the banter we have of us three, we know our boundaries and stuff. But like, you know, coming here today, I was saying to you before we hit record, they're like, what do you mean a life of greatness? Maybe Sarah's talking to you for like, you're the before person. And then they'll talk to someone after they've turned their life around.
I know. You have such a beautiful chemistry together. And I think that's what makes it so beautiful. And, you know, earlier on before I think we started recording, your executive producer, Brody, was my junior producer when I worked on Breakfast Radio. And honestly, like, well, now I'm going to get sad. If it wasn't for Brody, like I would have had such a shit time. Yeah. You know,
welcome to therapy.
Thank you. He's such a beautiful
He's a rock. Boy. He's a rock. He's an absolute, and like, when we got announced at Nova, we literally got brought in, were announced to the staff, and he came straight up to me afterwards, introduced himself. And I know he was working in a role before that he wasn't loving. Yeah. But he still rocked up and worked his ass on that, you know, worked his ass off on that show. Yeah. And he said to me, look, you know, if there's any spots going on this show, I'd love to be considered for it. And I just loved the fact that he's this guy who was doing a role he wasn't loving, but he still rocked up and worked his ass off for it. So in my mind, I will always take passion over qualification.
And he's so he'd love us talking about him like this. He's such a nice guy, but funny. Like we would laugh so much behind the scenes. Like, and when I bump into him now, we still do. Like, he's such a good guy. Like,
he is. And he's the rock. He's the rock on the team. Because, like, we can all be, Clint, Laura and I can be quite dramatic. And we're like, oh, that call was shit. The world's over. And he's like, no, it's all good, guys. We'll get it fixed. Like, he's the Zen master.
He's just neutral. Like,
he's the Zen master.
Yeah. There's, I'm Jewish, and in Yiddish there's this word called mensch, which is like just a good guy, and that's like epitomizes Brody. He's such a wonderful person.
Now, don't get me wrong. He's not Mother Teresa, because I've seen him in a club. And those stories will go to the grave. But yeah, he is. He's a rock.
Yeah,
he's the man to have in your corner.
Yeah. So it's beautiful.
But again, I've now built that team again where like my kids all love him. Yeah. Like, we had to go to an appointment the other day and we were cooked. We didn't have a babysitter for the 4-year-old.
Yeah.
I was like, Broads, would you mind coming around?
Really?
And he just came around. Archie loves him and just hangs with Brody. But yeah, so we've got that family team. But I'll take my kids in on holidays and they know all the team and they walk in. Hey, producer Jase. Hey, Gen C. We call Brody the thumb because he's bald. And the top
bless
of the
him. Bless him. This is a hilarious story, and I still have these videos on my phone. So he used to get us coffee and water and everything. He was like a bit of a runner when I was working with him. And I recorded she was 2 at the time, my daughter, in a video, and I'd play it and she'd go, water, Brody, please. And he would go off, get the water and come back. It's just, that's what you need to get through those kind of hard hours at times.
He's funny. He's a good man. He's about to have a baby, actually.
Is he?
Yeah, a couple of months time.
I wanted to ask you about something because it was, a bit of change of topic, but when it was Jan 4th in 2024.
Oh God, here we go. I can't remember last week.
Okay, it's fine because I'll tell you.
Jan 4th,
but
20.
You found a man bleeding in the gutter near your house. Can you tell us what happened with that and what was that?
It was so my wife, we're on holidays. We hadn't started at Nova yet. We're in the Gap. We left Kiss. So it was just Christmas holidays. My wife had gone to the movies with our 10-year-old Huddy. We lived in Hampton East on like a corner house. So it was like fence went down the side and there was a gate at the back.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was about midday. I just walked around the block with then he would have been 2 and the oldest son. And we'd just gone around the block, them riding their bikes. We'd gotten home, we're in the house, and then Lou rang and she goes, hey, I'm on the way home from the movies. I pulled up down the street. I need you to come out the backside gate. Looks like there's a guy laying in the gutter. And I came running out the back gate. This is like a Wednesday at midday. And there was a guy in the gutter covered in blood.
Jesus.
And I'll be very careful about the detail just because I know the family and I speak to him a lot. And
yeah.
I just,
of
don't
course.
want him to have to live through it. But he was conscious. I was like, blink if you can hear me. I looked at my wife. She called 000 and threw me the phone. She took off because we didn't want our child to see anything. So it was just me and him on the street. And I was on the phone to 000 and I said, he's bleeding. I can see, bleeding marks on his shirt and stuff. I took off my shirt to try and stop the bleeding. He was starting to lose consciousness. I said, just keep listening, keep blinking. Paramedics arrived. The police arrived first. They got out of the car. They ran over as I was sort of trying to stop the bleeding. And the police looked at him straight away and said, he's been stabbed. And I didn't even realize. I didn't know where it was, And then the cop was like, just, have you seen anything? And I said, no. The cops, I had the phone on speakerphone to 000. They screamed down the phone, he's been stabbed. We need an ambulance here right now. The cops sent me across the road to see if I could start knocking on doors to see if they could see anything on the people's cameras while they started doing CPR.
Jesus. Because
they knew someone was in the area still with a knife. No one was answering the door. By that point, the ambulance arrived. They took over. 3 other cop cars arrived. And, in the matter of 10 minutes, he'd passed and the street was filled with cops and it was a full crime scene. And Spiros passed away. And later that afternoon, when the police were in our place taking statements and stuff, they heard a thing over the walkie-talkie saying that they'd caught a young guy with a knife in Moorabbin. And it turns out it was the same person.
Jeez.
He's been charged now, and he was 27-year-old, I think, high on drugs.
Oh, my God. And this was random?
Total random attack. Spiros was a 48-year-old intellectually disabled man who everyone in the area knew.
Oh.
And what the homicide squad said to me is, if we were walking down the street and saw this junkie, we would have crossed the road. Poor Spiros would have said hi and tried to engage with him.
Yeah.
And so that's what would have caused the attack. And yeah, it was just completely random and so sad.
And with your show, I wonder, like, you know, say, for example, the machete laws. Are you
I was very passionate about it.
Yeah. Are you allowed to talk about what you're passionate about?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So,
I was very careful at the start because it took ages for it to go to court.
Yes.
He ended up getting found not guilty on mental grounds, which is really hard for the family that on paper is found not guilty. But he is in jail and he waits now for a bed at like a, you know, prison hospital.
Yeah.
There's only like 24 beds or something in Victoria. So he could be waiting, you know, 20 years for it.
Yeah.
So he's locked up, but they've got to live with on paper, you know, so he's innocent. And I've caught up with that family once or twice. We stay in contact, you know, on text and stuff. But yeah, they were broken, you know. And
that's shocking.
And this was midday on a fucking Wednesday. And they got all the footage from the area. And basically, after he attacked Spiros, he went down to the Coles, got a drink, sat in the car park. Then he got on a bus, went up to Westfield. They've got him on the bus, holding the knife on the bus.
Jesus.
Walked around Westfield, and then they found him a couple of streets over, stabbing a tree.
That is
And I just sit there and go, he could have done so much more damage.
So much more damage. You know, what I'd love to know what you think as a person that lives in Melbourne now with...
It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
It is, like, since then, I would always walk out the door at 4:30 to get in the car, 5 o'clock, and not even think twice. Now, I walk to that car and I lock the door as soon as I'm in it. You know, like, my kids wrote... What really shut me was that guy took the innocence out of our street.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't let my son go around the block on a bike after that. I was like, that's shit.
Yeah.
He's 12. He should be riding the suburb and stuff. But, you know, he ripped the innocence out of our street.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Victoria as a whole is not having a great time. You know, it's... I don't know. I know you haven't lived here all your life, but I've lived here all my life, and it's never been like this before.
It's changed so much just in the 9 years I've been here. It's horrible, and I just feel like everyone's talking about it. And I feel for the cops because the cops are working their ass off to get these kids.
Yeah.
And then they're getting a slap on the wrist and they're back out. Like,
have you spoken to Jacinta Allen on your show before?
Yeah, we have. And then I'll be honest, we stopped having her in.
Yeah, why?
It was just getting frustrating.
Why?
I wasn't getting answers from any of them. Like, and then we had the young girl that's going up against, is it Jess Wilson?
Yeah, I've interviewed her.
And lovely, but it was like talking to a brick wall. And we just hit this stage where I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of the bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you 4 minutes of 7 minutes on the show just to give me political answers.
How do you go with the short interviews? I mean, I just used to watch them when I was a producer and I think, oh, geez, there's not much time.
No, we do about a 9-minute break. But
that's good though, because how much can you get? Like when I was doing my radio, when I was on my book tour, when I released my book and I went on radio shows, they'd basically say the title, I'd say one thing and then
you
it'd be time to go.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I was like, who's going to buy the book
exactly
after that?
Right. Yep. So we'd rather do, I mean, look, you know, it's probably smarter to do it over several breaks and drag people over. But I mean, you know, I do believe in this day and age, people's morning routine can't change.
Yes.
Gone are the days of going, oh, Sarah, we're down the street getting out icy cold cans of Coke.
Yeah.
All right, kids can be late. Let's go there. Everyone's so set in their routine now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like me going, well, hang around. We're going to chat more with Jacinta in 10 minutes after the break. It's like, no, give it to me now.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll do longer chats on the air.
Yeah. And so now do you have any political figures or you're done?
No, we're done at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it'll amp up when it gets closer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think we're just over being the speaker for their bullshit.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
You know?
Do you get to chat with them before or after much?
Yeah, sometimes. Look, they're all very nice.
Yeah, of course.
You know, the one thing I'll give Albo credit for us. He'll come in and he'll go, because I always say to him, what are you pushing?
Yeah.
Because to be fair, they're coming in. And I might go, hey, we're going to ask you about this, and then we'll get to healthcare or whatever. And the last couple of times Albo's come in, he's like, I'm here for what you guys need, which is good.
Yeah, that's nice.
I remember I remember we had ScoMo come in. This is back in the PJ and my days.
Yeah.
And what will normally happen is a guest will come in, we'll do an interview. It's like this. You'll find a funny little clip and put that on social. And the chat was so political and straight and boring, and you just wouldn't get a straight answer. We actually put the video up of the small talk before we went on air, because it was the most awkward thing you'll ever see in your life.
What happened?
It was just, I'm trying to talk to him and he's going through his notes. I was like, so busy day? He's like, And I'm looking at PJ. PJ's looking at me like we were just getting donuts.
Wow.
And when it came to entertainment, that was a lot funnier to watch than him giving an answer.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You'll be able to find it somewhere.
Do they care that you put that up?
Oh, they probably have the shits about it, but if you come on the show,
well, that's what I think as well.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to come on I didn't make you be a douchebag before we went on air.
Well, that's it. It's like, I always think, especially with the podcast, I'm like, you've come into my house now, so you need to treat me with respect.
And you're not trying to make the guest look bad.
No.
But if I come in here and if I'm a rude douchebag and you've got that on video, then put that clip out there.
Exactly. I agree with everything. I'd love to know, Jason, what's some of the best advice that you have ever been given?
Oh. Well, don't be a prick to people. Yeah. Just be nice to people. I know it's so basic, but I just, I love that. And work harder than anyone else in the room. Like one of my kids I know was struggling at school, and I said to him, mate, Dad wasn't great at school, but I worked harder than anybody else in the room. So it's back to them manifesting and, like I was thinking of things I want to do, and my dream was to do a radio show. One day, Breakfast on the Gold Coast was my dream, and maybe I'll get there. But I didn't just go, that's what I want, and sit there and wait for it to happen.
Yeah.
I happily answered phones. When I went back to New Zealand, like I'd been hosting a breakfast show in Brisbane with a big production team. When we went back to New Zealand, it was me, one producer, and a co-host. Yeah. That was it. So after the show, I'm there chopping the promos. I'm there chopping the video. Like, work harder than anyone else in the room, and you'll get there. Yeah,
that's beautiful. And what's something that you wish for yourself?
Just happiness, I think. I'm just in this... I'm very mindful at the moment. I want to implement this rule, live, not exist. I think I'm very guilty at the moment of just being in this routine.
Yes.
5 days of shows, go home, hang with the kids, take them to sport, Sunday, reset, here we go again. And I remember Scotty Cam talk, he was with Hamish on the Dad podcast. Yeah. And Scotty was saying, he goes, my wife was a teacher, so she hated this. But he was a tradie, and he goes, it'd be raining, so I'd come home and say to the kids, not in year 11 and 12, but when they were younger, Screw school today. What are you going to learn? It's raining. Let's go to the movies. Yeah. And his wife was like, what are you doing? Yeah. But it's building memories, which Hamish and Andy were always very big on, which I loved. Ham would always go on about building memories. And I'm in this big thing at the moment where I keep saying to myself, don't exist, live. It's
so funny you say that, because I've been thinking of the exact similar thing.
Well, it's my quote. Don't steal it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to. And it's the idea of really living in the moment, but also just having fun. Like sometimes we become, I know for myself, a little bit rigid. Like I don't want to stay out later,
100%.
And I don't have as much fun because I want to be fresh in the morning.
We're the same. Oh, we can't take the kids there. It's too late.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what they're like? They need their bedtime. And I just have to go, fuck it. You know what? If they wake up a bit grumpy tomorrow because we had a later night, think about the memory of having the later night, not think about the Saturday morning.
Exactly.
And in no way am I nailing this.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to pick myself up on it.
It's
break the rules.
Just have a good time.
Yeah.
So this is how I'm living my life too.
Because when we went around and did the handshakes recently, I went and ripped one of my boys out of school, just took him with us. And Lauren's like, just get in the afternoon off school. And I'm like, yeah. Because you know what? Him and I are going to drive for an hour to Epping and tell some jokes to each other, and he's going to come out and meet some listeners and see what Dad does and hang out with the team. And
that's beautiful.
Just break the rules a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we
just
all
actually
need to live, not exist.
Yeah.
Because we just sit there going, and I'm guilty of it. I go, cool, 5 o'clock hour, which we call Black Hawk Down hour in our house, where everything just turns to shit. And I sit there going, okay, just got to just focus on 7, get the kids to bed. And it's like, you know what? Screw it. let's play Monopoly at 6 p.m. tonight.
Yeah.
You can't do it every night.
Yeah.
But tonight,
Yeah.
screw it. Rules are out the window.
So good. And our final question, Jase, what is a life of greatness to you?
I think that if I can achieve that, then I'm happy. I just want to start living, not existing. And living is building memories, having fun, not just wishing the day away.
Jase, thank you so much for your
beautiful
authenticity and lighting up Melbourne's airwaves. I think there's so many people that love you and you always just you. And thank you so much for the conversation today.
That's all right. Yeah, you can't get the wanky fake side is not me. I'd much rather hang out here than the opening of something.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.